Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive
Yeah,
into the world of AI.
it's a good one today.
This one's really interesting.
It is.
We're going to be talking about a model called DeepSeek-R1.
Oh,
Have you heard of this?
yeah, I've been following it pretty closely.
Oh, cool.
Really interesting to see it kind of develop over the last couple of months.
Yeah, and I mean it's making some big waves, right?
Huge waves.
Challenging some of the big names out there, even OpenAI.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's just jump right into it. What makes DeepSeek-R1 so special?
I think the big thing that makes it stand out is its reasoning capabilities.
Okay.
It's not just, spitting out information or,
Yeah.
translating languages or something like that.
Right.
It's actually able to like think through problems.
So it's not just pattern recognition.
Yeah, it's going beyond that.
It's actually reasoning.
Yeah.
Wow. So give me an example. Like, what can this thing actually do?
So one of the things that really caught my eye was, they had it take the AME exam.
The what exam?
The AAME, so that's the American Invitational Mathematics Examination.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that's a tough one.
it's a really tough exam. It's for high schoolers, but like the top,
Yeah.
percentage of high schoolers.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that back when I was in high school.
Yeah, exactly. So, most people don't even get to that level, and this AI scored almost 80%.
Really?
Yeah.
80% on the AE.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's got to be better than most humans who even take the exam.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So how is it doing this? Is it really thinking like we would think, or is it just some crazy complex math that we don't even understand?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? And I
Yeah.
think what's really fascinating about DeepSeek is that it's based on this technique called reinforcement learning,
Okay.
or RL.
Right. Reinforcement learning.
They've talked about it a little bit on the show before.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that's been around for a while, but it seems like DeepSeek is kind of taking it to a whole new level.
Absolutely. They've really been able to push the boundaries of what we thought was possible with RL.
So remind me, how does that work again?
So basically, imagine you're teaching a dog a new trick.
Okay.
You give the dog a treat when it does something right.
Yeah.
And over time, it starts to learn which actions lead to the treats.
Right.
RL is similar. You give the AI rewards for correct reasoning steps or for getting to the right answer.
Oh, okay.
And it figures out, okay, this is the path I need to take.
So it's like it's learning by trial and error.
Yeah,
It's getting feedback and adjusting its approach.
exactly. It's learning by doing,
Okay.
just like we do.
So instead of just being programmed with all the answers or whatever, it's actually like figuring things out for itself.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that makes it so powerful because it can go beyond what we've explicitly programmed it to do
Wow.
and come up with new solutions.
That's pretty wild. So we see this in the math skills. Like, is there anywhere else where it's like really exceeding expectations
Oh yeah,
besides the math?
definitely.
Yeah.
They've also tested it on coding challenges.
Oh, interesting.
They used the Code Forces platform, which is a popular platform for competitive programming,
Oh,
and it achieved a Code Forces rating of 2029.
okay. I got to be honest. I don't know what that means.
So basically, Code Forces it's a platform where programmers from all over the world compete.
Right.
They solve these complex coding problems and they get ranked based on their performance.
Okay.
And a rating of 2029 puts DeepSeek ahead of over 96% of human competitors.
Wow. Okay.
That's-
So this AI
It's
is
impressive.
not only can it solve complex math problems,
Mhm.
it can also code
Yeah.
better
It-
than almost all humans.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, at this point, I'm starting to wonder, what can't it do?
It's a good question.
It's really impressive.
Yeah,
So it's still under development, right?
that's right.
But this whole reinforcement learning thing seems to be what's really setting it apart.
Absolutely. It's really a game changer because it allows the AI to actually learn and adapt
Yeah.
and develop its own kind of reasoning process.
It almost sounds like you're describing a human student learning and growing.
I mean, in a way, yeah.
Is that a fair comparison?
It is.
Okay.
Because it's not just about mimicking what we do, it's
Yeah.
about actually developing its own understanding.
Wow, that's fascinating. Have there been any like moments during its training where you've seen like, okay, this thing is really starting to think?
There have been some really interesting observations. Actually, one example that comes to mind is from an earlier version of DeepSeek called DeepSeek-R1.
DeepSeek-R1, what is that?
So you can kind of think of it as the precursor to DeepSeek-R1.
Okay.
And what's remarkable about this earlier version is that it was trained purely through reinforcement learning, no initial data or anything.
So it was literally starting from scratch.
Yeah, it's starting from zero.
Go.
And it was able to achieve some pretty impressive reasoning capabilities just through that process of interacting with its environment and getting feedback.
Wow.
And there was this one instance where it was working on a really challenging math problem.
Okay.
And at first, it started down one path, kind of like exploring one approach to solving the problem.
Hmm.
But then it seemed to hit a wall.
Okay, it got stuck.
Yeah, it kind of got stuck. And then the researchers noticed something really interesting.
What happened?
It started generating these tokens, these bits of output
Right.
that suggested it was actually reevaluating its entire approach.
So it was like, wait a minute,
Yeah, exactly.
I need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, like a little aha moment.
Wow, so it was actually like thinking about its own thinking.
Yeah, and it decided, this isn't working. I need to try something else.
Okay.
And it switched gears and ended up solving the problem.
That is incredible. That's
Pretty cool.
really, really cool. So if this AI was already so good at reasoning, why even bother with like training data for DeepSeek-R1?
That's a good question. So while DeepSeek-R1 showed the incredible potential of pure reinforcement learning,
Yeah.
it also had its limitations.
Oh.
For example, its output was sometimes a bit jumbled.
So it was like a brilliant but messy thinker.
Exactly. It needed some help with organization and presentation.
Okay.
And that's where DeepSeek-R1 comes in.
Okay.
This new version incorporates what the researchers call cold start data.
Cold start.
Yeah, so basically it's a small set of high-quality examples
Okay.
to kind of guide the learning process.
So it's like giving the AI some good study notes.
Exactly.
Showing it good examples of clear reasoning and well-structured solutions.
Yeah, so it's still learning through RL, but it's starting from a better foundation.
That makes it, this is all so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's really making me think about the bigger picture. Like, if these AI models are getting this good at reasoning, what does it mean for us, for the future? How's this going to impact our lives?
Those are the big questions.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what we'll be exploring further as we dive deeper into DeepSeek-R1.
Okay, I'm hooked. What else can you tell me about this amazing AI?
Well, one of the things that's really intriguing is that it's not just a one-trick pony.
Okay.
It's not just about math and coding.
Right.
They're also training it to be more well-rounded,
Okay.
capable of handling a wider range of tasks.
So they're expanding its curriculum, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not just STEM subjects, but also things like writing and general knowledge.
Yeah, they want to make it more like a general-purpose AI.
Oh, interesting.
It can really understand the world and interact with it in a meaningful way.
So it's becoming more like a knowledgeable assistant
Yeah,
that can kind of tackle all sorts of different challenges.
that's the goal.
Okay, this is starting to sound less like a research project and more like something that could really have like real-world applications.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that makes it so exciting.
So what kind of applications are we talking about? Like what could this actually do in the real world?
Well, imagine having an AI that could not only solve complex equations,
Right.
but also help you write a report, summarize a lengthy document, or even brainstorm creative ideas.
Oh, wow.
It could be like having a super smart assistant
Yeah.
that boosts your productivity and creativity.
This is starting to feel really futuristic.
It is.
So what else is on the horizon? Like where do we go from here?
Well, one of the most interesting developments is this idea of distillation.
Distillation, like what you do with alcohol.
Not quite,
Oh.
but it's a similar concept in a way.
Okay.
So basically, it's about taking the knowledge and reasoning abilities of a large, powerful AI model like DeepSeek-R1
Uh-huh.
and compressing them into a smaller, more efficient model.
So it's like taking the essence of DeepSeek's intelligence
Yeah,
and transferring it to a more compact version.
exactly.
Okay, why would they do that?
This is really important because it means that even more devices and applications could have access to these advanced AI capabilities.
Okay.
You wouldn't need a supercomputer to run these models.
So we could have like DeepSeek-R1 level reasoning power running on our phones or our laptops.
Potentially, yeah.
That would be incredible.
That's the idea.
Oh, okay.
And this could really revolutionize all sorts of fields, from education and healthcare to finance and entertainment.
So we're talking about like personalized AI tutors,
Yeah,
AI doctors, AI financial advisors.
exactly. The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
This is all very impressive. But I also have to wonder about the challenges. Like, if DeepSeek-R1 is still under development, what are some of the hurdles that the researchers are facing?
Well, even with all its advancements, DeepSeek-R1 isn't perfect.
Right.
It still has areas where it needs improvement.
Okay.
For example, it can sometimes be sensitive to the specific way a question is phrased.
So it's like any brilliant mind.
Yeah.
It has its quirks in
Exactly.
areas where it's still learning and growing.
Absolutely. And the researchers are actively working on these challenges.
Okay.
They're constantly refining the training process, exploring new techniques,
Yeah.
really pushing the boundaries of what DeepSeek-R1 can do.
This has been an incredible journey so far.
It has.
I mean, we've explored the reasoning abilities, we've talked about potential applications, we've even touched on some of the challenges.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
is there anything else that you think is important for our listener to know about DeepSeek-R1?
You know, one thing that I think is really important to highlight is that it's open source.
Oh, that's right.
The researchers have decided to make it available to the wider AI community.
Okay.
So not only the main model, but also these distilled versions that we talked about.
Okay.
And I think that's really a testament to their commitment to collaboration.
That's interesting. It's kind of unusual, isn't it, to open source such a powerful technology?
It is.
Like, why would they do that?
I think they recognize that the advancement of AI is really a collective effort.
Okay.
It's not something that any one team or organization can do alone.
Right.
And by making DeepSeek-R1 open source, they're essentially inviting other researchers, developers, hobbyists even,
Yeah.
to experiment with it, to build upon it.
To contribute to its development.
Exactly.
So it's like a giant global brainstorming session for AI.
That's a good way to put it.
That's a really cool approach.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of impact could that have on the field?
I think the potential impact is huge
Okay.
because you have all these brilliant minds from all over the world
Right.
working together, sharing ideas, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
Who knows what amazing applications and refinements we'll see in the coming months and years.
It's like planting a seed and watching it grow in countless directions.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
So let's bring it back to our listener for a moment. Why should they care about DeepSeek-R1 and all this? What's the significance for them?
This isn't just some abstract research happening in a lab somewhere.
No.
This represents a fundamental shift in what AI is capable of.
Okay.
And it really gives us a glimpse into a future where AI can be more than just a tool.
Okay.
It can be a true partner.
A partner in what sense? Like what could that look like?
Think about it. DeepSeek-R1 could help us solve complex problems.
Yeah.
Amplify our creativity, help us navigate a world that's becoming increasingly complex.
So it's like having a super intelligent co-pilot for life
Yeah.
that can help us think smarter, work more efficiently, explore new frontiers.
Exactly.
This is pretty mind-blowing stuff.
It is.
And what's really exciting is that this future isn't some distant fantasy.
Yeah.
With the rapid pace of AI development
Uh-huh.
and this collaborative spirit of the open source community,
Right.
we could see these capabilities integrated into our lives a lot sooner than we might think.
That's right. And that's what makes it so exciting.
Okay, well, I'm definitely feeling both amazed and inspired by all of this.
Yeah, me too.
DeepSeek-R1 is a real testament to human ingenuity
It is.
and the incredible potential of AI.
Absolutely.
As we continue to explore these possibilities,
Yeah.
it's important to remember that we're living in a time of just extraordinary technological advancement.
It's true.
And it's up to all of us to shape those advancements in a way that benefits humanity.
Absolutely. That's the key.
Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive into DeepSeek-R1,
Yeah.
what's the one key takeaway you want our listener to walk away with?
I think the main takeaway is that DeepSeek-R1 is more than just an impressive AI model.
Okay.
It's a signpost pointing towards a future where AI can be a powerful force for good,
Okay.
helping us solve complex challenges,
Yeah,
create a better world.
that's a fantastic note to end on.
It is.
Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive so far.
It's been a pleasure.
I've learned a lot. I'm inspired, and I think my mind has been blown a few times along the way.
Yeah, mine too.
To our listener out there, we hope you've enjoyed this as well.
Yes.
Learned something new,
Yeah.
been inspired by the possibilities, and maybe even had an aha moment or two of your own.
Absolutely. Keep exploring.
Stay curious.
Stay informed.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to make the next breakthrough in AI.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll see you in the
Listen.
next part.
We'll be back soon with part 2 of our deep dives into DeepSeek-R1.
Looking forward to it.
So until then, keep learning,
Keep diving deep.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. One thing I'm curious about, we were talking about how DeepSeek-R1 is still under development.
Right.
What are, what are some of the things that the researchers are still working on? What are some of the challenges that they're trying to overcome? Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's important to remember that even with all its advancements, it's not perfect.
Right.
There are still areas where it needs improvement.
Oh, okay. Like what?
For instance, one thing they're working on is its sensitivity to prompts.
Okay.
So sometimes the way you phrase a question or a task can really affect its performance.
So it's kind of like picky about the wording.
In a way, yeah. And that's something that they're actively trying to address, making it more robust
Yeah.
to different ways of phrasing things.
So it's not just what you ask it, it's how you ask it.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything else?
Yeah, another area they're focusing on is language mixing.
What do you mean by that?
So sometimes it can get a little confused when you mix different languages together in a single prompt.
Oh, interesting. So it's still kind of learning how to juggle multiple languages at once.
Yeah, that's a really complex challenge for AI.
Okay.
But they're making progress.
So it's kind of like us learning a new language, it takes time.
Yeah, exactly. You don't become fluent overnight.
Right.
It's a process.
Okay, this is all really fascinating, but I think it's time for us to start wrapping up our deep dive into DeepSeek-R1.
Okay.
Any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
I think, what's really striking about DeepSeek-R1 is that it's not just a technological marvel.
Okay.
It's a glimpse into the future of AI
Okay.
and the potential it has to really change the way we live, the way we work, the way we think.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing when you really think about it.
It is.
We're at a point where AI is not just about automating tasks. It's about augmenting human intelligence.
Exactly. It's about partnership.
Okay.
Collaboration.
I like that.
And I think DeepSeek-R1 is a really powerful example of that.
Well said. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
I think I speak for both of us when I say we've learned a lot.
Absolutely.
And I think our listeners probably have too.
Yeah, I hope so.
So to our listener out there, thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of DeepSeek-R1.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We encourage you to keep exploring.
Keep learning.
And stay curious about the amazing world of AI.
Because who knows what the future holds.
That's right. And we'll be back soon with more deep dives into cutting-edge technology.
So stay tuned.
Until then,
Keep diving deep.
bye.
Bye.
It's incredible to think we're already at a point where AI can do so much.
I know, right?
But as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left wondering what's next. What's next for DeepSeek-R1? Where do we go from here?
That's the beauty of open source, right? It's kind of out there in the world now.
Yeah.
It's really in the hands of the AI community.
So it's like, who knows? What are we going to see in the next few months, the next few years?
Exactly, yeah. So many possibilities.
What are you most excited to see?
I'm really fascinated by those distillation capabilities we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea that you can take all that power, all that reasoning ability,
Right.
and kind of squeeze it down into something smaller,
Yeah.
more accessible, it's really game-changing.
I mean, you could have that running on so many different things.
Exactly.
Personal assistance, educational tools,
Oh.
even scientific research.
I mean, the possibilities are really endless. It's hard to even imagine.
Yeah, and I think that's what we got to hold on to, that sense of wonder, right?
Absolutely.
As we move forward with AI.
Yeah.
We're living in a time of incredible innovation.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's up to us to harness that.
Yeah, to use it wisely.
For good, for the benefit of humanity.
Exactly.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive.
It has.
I think I speak for both of us when I say we've learned a lot.
Absolutely. I've learned a ton.
Been inspired and maybe even had our minds blown a little bit along the way.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And to our listener out there, we encourage you to keep exploring
Keep learning.
the world of AI.
Yeah.
DeepSeek-R1 is just one example
Uh-huh.
of the amazing things that are happening right now.
Absolutely.
So stay curious.
Yeah, stay informed.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to make the next big breakthrough.
That's right. You never know.
So until next time,